The name Johnny Carson is etched in history not only for his talent and success but also for the mystery, the secrets, and the shadows that surrounded his life off camera. The king of late night captivated millions of people every evening with his sharp wit, charm, and unique ability to turn any conversation into pure gold. But behind the applause there was a deeply complex man, and, at times, a deeply unhappy one. For decades, Carson's image was that of the perfect host, polished, confident, witty. What the audience didn't see were the scars left by a life marked by loneliness, obsessive control, and a series of personal relationships that always ended the same way, in pain and distance. Who was Johnny Carson really when the studio lights went out? What secrets did he hide even from those closest to him? And what, ultimately, led the most admired man in American television to live surrounded by so much distrust, silence, and sadness? Behind the glitz and laughter, there was a dark side, a version of Carson that few had the courage to reveal. A man surrounded by fame, power, and secrets that could have destroyed his television empire if they had ever come to light. Today, with new accounts, documents, and testimonies from people who knew him, we revisit Johnny Carson's journey to uncover the dark secrets we ignored for far too long. So before we dive in, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and give this video a like. YouTube only delivers content like this to viewers who engage. And if you want to support the channel even more, leave us super thanks. Your gesture helps keep these stories alive, stories that time almost erased. But stay until the end because the final revelation will leave you speechless, and it may change everything you thought you knew about Johnny Carson. Johnny Carson wasn't just a host, he was an institution. For millions of Americans, he was the king of late night, the embodiment of refined, unmatched entertainment. For 30 years, he hosted The Tonight Show, shaping the modern talk show format and setting standards of humor, improvisation, and charisma that continue to influence hosts like Jay Leno, David Letterman, and Jimmy Fallon. But the story few know is that of a man surrounded by secrets, anxieties, and loneliness. A man whose public genius hid private torments he never fully overcame. Born in 1925 in Corning, Iowa, Johnny Carson grew up in a house where silence prevailed. His mother, Ruth Carson, was a distant and demanding figure, while his father, Homer, wrestled with his own emotional struggles. Growing up in such a strict, affection-starved environment shaped Johnny's reserved and perfectionist personality. From an early age, he learned that talent alone wasn't enough to conquer the world. Control, attention to detail, and an almost obsessive awareness of others' intentions were necessary. He sought in the audience's laughter the approval he didn't receive at home, and when he earned it, he felt alive, if only for a brief moment. But when the lights went out, the emptiness returned, quiet and heavy. As a teenager, Carson showed signs of sharp intellect and a curiosity for arts and sciences. He loved reading and was fascinated by radio and television, imagining how he could captivate an audience with charm and intelligence. He served in the Navy during World War II, where he learned discipline but also honed his ability to observe human behavior, a skill that would later prove essential in his television career. After his military service, he studied journalism at the University of Nebraska, experimenting with radio and comedy, refining his comic timing and audience engagement skills. When he debuted on television, Johnny quickly realized that his career would depend not only on talent but on crafting a flawless persona. On stage, he was charismatic, witty, and charming. Offstage, he was reserved, suspicious, and meticulous. Rapid success brought isolation. Johnny maintained superficial relationships, avoiding bonds that could threaten his control. He married 4 times, and in each relationship, the pattern repeated itself. Initial charm, emotional distancing, and ultimately separation. Jokingly, he once said, "Marriage is the leading cause of divorce." But behind the joke was a man who feared intimacy and preferred absolute control. The Tonight Show wasn't just a program, it was a microcosm of Carson's world. Backstage, the atmosphere was tense. Writers and producers reported that any mistake could lead to immediate dismissal. Johnny demanded perfection, absolute loyalty, and attention to every detail. Guests who broke rules or created unexpected situations often were never invited back. He had enemies, yes, but he also had allies who understood that working with Carson meant navigating a complex relationship of respect and fear. At the height of his career, Johnny faced personal tragedies that further shaped his personality. In 1991, his son Rick died in a car accident. The loss was devastating, leaving Johnny withdrawn, introspective, and even more distrustful. Close friends say he became increasingly selective about whom he trusted, keeping secret files and detailed notes about people around him. Documents that mysteriously disappeared after his death. This distrust, combined with perfectionism, fueled rumors and backstage theories that persist to this day. When he retired in 1992, Johnny almost completely disappeared from public life. He avoided interviews, appearances, and any unnecessary exposure. For a man who had lived decades under the spotlight, his silence was deafening. Naturally, the silence fueled speculation. Some believed he had compromising recordings of public figures, from politicians to celebrities, that could ruin careers. No one knew for sure. Some claimed Carson had accumulated powerful enemies in the television industry, while others suggested he held secrets so deep they would never be revealed. Johnny's loneliness was as notorious as his talent. He could command a studio of thousands, draw laughter and applause, and still feel completely alone. The man who inspired millions was constantly fighting himself, the fear of failure, and the emptiness that fame couldn't fill. He knew every public smile came at a cost, and he paid that cost quietly, almost ritualistically. Beyond personal struggles, Carson faced professional rivalries. Veiled competitions with other hosts, audience ratings battles, and tension with NBC executives were all part of his routine. He knew better than anyone how to control the narrative, but he couldn't always control public interpretation or media interest. At the same time, he maintained enduring loyal relationships with key figures, like Ed McMahon, who served as his right-hand man, friend, and confidant for decades. Even after retirement, Carson continued to influence television. His legacy is evident in every talk show that followed, in how hosts interact with guests, conduct interviews, and balance humor with charisma. But the public image hid the complexity of his inner life. The man who shaped modern entertainment also faced fear, paranoia, and profound pain, elements few dared to explore. Johnny Carson passed away in 2005, taking with him all the secrets, resentments, and mysteries of a life lived in two dimensions, the public persona and the private man. To the audience, he was the master of laughter. To himself, he was a prisoner of his own genius. Perhaps Johnny's greatest secret was never revealed because he never admitted it even to himself. Behind the smile, there lived a profoundly lonely man. And that is what makes Johnny Carson's story timeless. More than a host or cultural icon, he was a reflection of the human condition under pressure, a cautionary tale about the unseen costs of success, fame, and power. Every laugh drawn from the audience masked a need for approval, every calculated gesture reflected the fear of failure, and every silence between cameras testified to his solitude. If this video made you think, hit the like button now. It helps YouTube deliver this kind of content to more people who want to understand the hidden side of the stories that shape generations. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Each new subscription helps this project grow and continue bringing deep, human, and emotional narratives like this. I also want to hear from you. Which of these Johnny Carson secrets surprised you the most? Leave a comment. I read every single one and love seeing different perspectives. Before you go, click on the video appearing on your screen now. It's even more intriguing and emotional than this one, and I'm sure you'll love it. Thank you for watching. Remember, behind every star there's always a shadow. See you in the next video.